Welcome to Tech Tuesday. My name is Tom Levine, Cornerstone's tech guru here. Today we're going to be covering how to use Bluetooth and what are maybe some of the risks that people don't often think about with connectivity of these sorts of devices. Um, just before we get started, some general housekeeping. First, if you have a question throughout the presentation, please don't hesitate to type it there in the question box. I might not get around to it immediately, but I guarantee you I will give you an answer. If not by the end of the presentation, by the end of the week, I've got to do a little bit of extra research. That being said, please don't hesitate to type it there, and I will get to it if I can. Also, please don't hesitate to connect with me online. Our website is www.crnstone.com, and you can send me an email at tlevine, Levine, at crnstone.com as well, or using the phone number above. I might not always answer immediately, but I will get back to you within the day. Also, we are going to be doing the 2021 incentive program. That would be the top qualifier receiving $5,000 plus one lucky qualifier winning a weekend getaway. That is for OEP and SAP sales taking place between January 1st, 2020 and December 31st, 2020. You have to register online to participate, but you can register at the link I'm putting in the chat now. All right, thank you. And last but not least, there's Autopilot. Autopilot is our compensation-based client referral program that offers the services of our licensed representatives to quote, enroll, support, and provide year-round service to clients that might fall out of the scope of your business, but keeps them on your radar. Under this program, you can focus on growing your business with the assurance that your clients continue to receive the benefits of your marketing expertise and continued superior service and support. Our talented team will take care of your clients' health insurance needs for individual, family, employee benefits, or even Medicare solutions. So feel free to contact us today about Autopilot, and put a link in the chat there as well if you're curious about that. Now, I know I did say I'd be covering Bluetooth today, but in order to cover Bluetooth, first we have to understand what a network is. Now, this might be review for some of our viewers, but a network is important in understanding what Bluetooth is, so we're going to cover sort of the general stuff here. First off, a network is just referring to a set of interconnected devices. So these are two separate computing devices that sort of talk to each other. Basically, that's in a way what Bluetooth is. Originally, these sort of network connections were made using wires, and these were called Ethernet connections. But eventually, after we connected local computers, like facilities of computers, and then multiple groups of facilities, et cetera, these sorts of connections grew very vast and connected a lot of different things, creating sort of an internet, if you would. This network then became open for commercial use in the early 90s, and I think we all use the internet now pretty much every day. Bluetooth is just a different type of network, but still sort of the same thing as the internet. A bunch of devices talking to each other. So that being said, there are two different types of network modes or formats. There's infrastructure mode, which is what we're all pretty familiar with and use on a daily basis, which is a network containing a few different like relays or bridge components that not only connect two computers and let them talk to each other, but also controls the way that communication is sort of broken up. So only one computer can really speak to another computer at once. Then there's ad hoc mode, which is direct networking between devices without using a bridge. A good analogy to understand these two modes, in my opinion, is sort of like a traffic stop, four-way intersection. You've got the lights up above the four-way intersection, which serve as the relay or bridge components that talk about communication on the network and how it's going to be sent out, or direct traffic. Ad hoc mode is a four-way intersection without a traffic light. So it's just a bunch of cars blowing through all at once. That being said, there are also sub-network types. These are just sort of the descriptor we use to describe the connection. So there's peer-to-peer ad hoc, which connect two devices without a bridge and typically is limited in range to about 10 meters. Then there's a local area network, which is a connection of multiple devices within the same sort of local area, most commonly used for household or building internet setups. It's also the level before the WAN connection or the ISP. This would be your Time Warner, your Cincinnati Bell, all of those types of people. Wide area connections are very large networks that basically connect a bunch of local area networks together. That being said, what's Bluetooth? Bluetooth is a peer-to-peer ad hoc network that is limited currently in range to around 25 feet. It's used to temporarily connect two devices and allow for, relaxed communication across a network. There are a lot of different applications that it's used in currently, and a lot of which you'll probably recognize. Bluetooth isn't exactly new technology, but it is being utilized more and more frequently now. You can use Bluetooth to pair your phone to a TV, if it's a smart TV and has that functionality. You can also use cooking equipment with it. Robots, different lights. You can set up to change color. And then there are also different types of speakers or headsets that are pretty common now. You can see our Techccessory presentation from 2 weeks ago online. We covered that pretty extensively then. It might have been a month ago now that I think about it. But we covered some of the general options there, being earbuds or the what do they call it on Apple now? The earpods or earbuds, as I call them. We also did smartwatches and a few other common items that all connect to your phone via Bluetooth. But just sort of highlight how prolific it is, I did want to talk about a few more uncommon options. First off, this one I actually own. It's the Anova Sous Vide. When I said cooking equipment earlier, this is one of the devices I was referring to. It currently sells for around $100, but basically, if you're unfamiliar with the concept, a sous vide is a kind of slow cooker. I can set this up using Bluetooth on my phone and get very precise when controlling temperatures, cook times, and automatically I can set it up to start and stop at certain time frames as well. I can also connect to my device over an internet connection using this app, so it's just sort of a smart slow cooker. I think that's pretty cool. They also have Bluetooth padlocks nowadays. So the lock itself is controlled via a Bluetooth app. You have to be right next to the lock to open it. And it's not as typical. I've maybe seen one of these in my life. They're about $160, so it's not really prolifically used. But it goes to show just sort of how ingrained Bluetooth has become, that now we even have locks that unlock with it, which I think is a pretty cool use. There's also a smart ukulele now that connects to your phone with Bluetooth. What it does specifically is light up the fretboard. So you download a song to an app on your phone, then you connect the app to the ukulele, and it'll sort of light up the tablature on the ukulele as you play it. So you can sort of learn ukulele through your phone. That's pretty neat too. It's about $150 on Uncommon Goods. And lastly, drones. I know I did say that Bluetooth is limited in range, and it is, but that sort of limitation only applies to your controller. Specifically, what this phone does is it connects to the controller using Bluetooth, and then the controller talks to the drone using like a sort of wider area coverage radio signal. You can get a bunch of these online. The one being shown up here, though, is the Amcrest AW4 Skyview. It uses a Wi-Fi signal to be controlled from that controller, but it can be paired to your phone with Bluetooth, and then you can use your phone to control it. So that being said, now that I've covered a few sort of obscure Bluetooth options, what are the downsides and risks, which often aren't really covered at all? The first is that it impacts your battery life. The longer you leave Bluetooth on, the more battery your phone will be using. So it can eventually sort of tank the life of your device. Also, the network of communication, being the Bluetooth signal itself, is unrestricted. And there's not really many ways to make it more secure. Being an unrestricted connection means that you don't actually need a password to connect to any device using the Bluetooth network. All you have to do is register it as, in use, and the device knows that it's connected to your phone. that sort of made it very easy for hackers to get into it first. Hackers can get into your phone, and this is called like blue bugging or blue jacking, depending on the context. But basically, they get into your phone, and then they can send messages, emails, give quick calls to anyone in your contact list from you, essentially. And they can even send text messages with links to malware. So that's kind of a threat. The only thing I will say is it's not really a major risk, in my opinion. A lot of times, if they've connected to your phone using this, they've done it a million times before other ways. And the limited range of blue jacking and blue bugging kind of makes it not a very valuable way to get into a device. People will often prefer to just use a network connection to get in. Additionally, it is limited in limited in the number of device connections it can use at once. Meaning that you can only use like one pair of headphones, your car's speakers, or one device at a time. So this means you can't be listening to your music while at the same time directing that sous vide from earlier using your phone. In my mind, this is one of the biggest downsides as far as connecting to a lot of different devices is concerned. Then there are also the risks. Being discoverable at all means that your phone can be blue jacked or blue bugged. And then also you want to be careful what you're reading. A lot of the downsides to Bluetooth that I hear about are downsides due to misunderstanding. Um, the biggest misnomer I hear is that Bluetooth increases your chances of contracting cancer. And while it's true that all radiation sources do increase your chance of getting cancer as a technicality, uh, Bluetooth is about as risky to be around as being around a wireless router. To get a specific quote I found on the subject, while it's true that all radiation increases your chance of getting cancer, no specific demonstration of harm has been demonstrated up to date of any wireless transmission being included by the IARC in the possible carcinogen list, actually increasing your risk of cancer. So basically, even though they're included as possible carcinogens, there's never been a test that proves it. You'll still see a lot of web pages stating that this sort of connection will seriously harm your health, but there's a lot of misinformation out there about your health online. So be skeptical and be wary if you see a website saying that Bluetooth is going to, give you cancer. More realistically, I think the most likely risk from using Bluetooth is pairing it to a headset at work, having that then accidentally disconnect, and suddenly all your coworkers know you're into reggae. So that's a more realistic concern, in my opinion. But that being said, Bluetooth in practice. There are just a few general notes to it, and I'm going to walk you through how to use this connection on both Android and iPhone devices. But first, you're going to need to make sure the device you want to connect to, meaning your headset or your speaker, or whatever you're connecting to at all really, is in pairing mode. This will be found in the instructions with the actual device for how to set it up. Most often for earbuds or iPods, it's just take your earbud out of the case and then your phone will start looking for the connection. Then you register the device through your phone settings, and then you can connect and use them automatically in most cases. With Android devices, you want to make sure first, of course, like I just said, that the device is in pairing mode. Then you'll go to your settings and select Bluetooth. Or if you're using the quick menu like I do, you will swipe down once, hit the Bluetooth symbol or the word under the icon on your quick settings menu. Then you will select the device under the available devices that's in pairing mode that you're trying to connect to, and you're done. You can also actually view the file download history that it's done through Bluetooth in the advanced section if you feel that you've been hacked into with blue jacking. And going back real quick to the previous slide, the icon on the left is the Bluetooth icon. So if you're trying to get there through the quick menu, that is the icon you're looking for. Then how to connect using your iPhone or your Apple device. You'll want to follow the instructions that came with your device to put it in discovery mode. Discovery mode is the same thing as pairing mode, just using Apple lingo. Also, then you'll go to your iPhone settings, Bluetooth, turn on Bluetooth, then tap the name of the device you're trying to connect to. As a side note, there in the middle, you'll see to pair AirPods, see set up AirPods with iPhone. And we covered this in our presentation involving tech accessories. But basically, AirPods have a separate sort of connection they use to connect to iPhones. It's a little bit more advanced and a little more robust than a Bluetooth connection. So I'd recommend using that if you're trying to pair those. There are specific instructions that come with the AirPods for how to do that. So I'd recommend checking there. These are all the different sources I use to do my research on Bluetooth. But if you have any further questions on that, please feel free to reach out to me. My phone number is 513-487-5390. And you can also email me at tlevine@crnstone.com. I'm happy to answer all of your tech-related questions, and I will be on the line for a few more minutes as well. If you have any questions regarding Bluetooth, networks in general, or what's coming up, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks, and have a great day.